Hi there, and welcome to week 12's vlog. It's actually probably more like week 16 because I had to take a few weeks out there to do my secret project. But there's not a huge amount to report at the minute, but I think it's really important to just still jump on to let you know, even when there's not a lot happening, you're still doing a lot. So my workload this week is mainly about the bistro and gallery. So let me tell you what's happening. First of all, because there's been time, because we're stuck in planning permission for, anything between 3 and 6 months, it could be anything, that you then sort of re-look at things and rethink things, and there's things going through my head. There's been a few surprises in that there's going to be some additional costs. This often happens when you are launching any sort of business, to be honest. There's always hidden costs or extra costs that comes up. So we have to pay 6% tax to the government because it's a limited company that's buying the property. That wasn't accounted for in the original figures. It's going to be costing me a little bit more for the electricals because we've got to increase the supply to take on the convection oven. So I'm waiting for drawings to come from the architect so I can send them to the electrician so I can get that quoted for properly. So there's all of that kind of stuff going on at the moment where it's frustrating because you're waiting for other people, third parties. You've asked them for something, you're waiting for it. I've been chasing the drawings for 2 weeks. I've then got to send them to the electrician. Goodness knows how long that will take to turn around. So it's juggling at the minute. I feel like I'm spinning plates, but you've got to keep spinning them. That's the important thing when you are considering launching any new business. You've got to keep spinning the plates. You've got to keep the momentum there. Because if I sat back on my laurels now and thought, well, that could be 3 to 6 months, I'll do nothing. When it comes to getting the place ready, you're then under pressure. You've not done the planning work or the preparation work. So that's really important. So hopefully by the end of next week, I should have a brand new costing for the bank with actual costings on there for everything that it's going to cost to set up the property. That means I can have a look at it as the business owner to see if I need to borrow any more money to cover some of the additional costs or all of the additional costs, because you don't want to put yourself under pressure when you are launching a new business, particularly a bricks and mortar business. And I'm going to need some working capital because we're not going to open the doors and instantly take all of the money. So I've got to factor that in as well. So there's still a lot of thought processes and planning going into this, even though we're in a place of we can't do very much. And also I have rejigged the menu. I'm going to show you the menu now. We've still not finished the menu. There still is a bit of work to do on the menu. So let's have a look at it. You all know that I opted for pink, and if you didn't, now you're seeing it, aren't you? Let's go full page on that. So I opted for pink in the branding, which is not a colour I would normally use, but I wanted to stand out on the high street. I wanted people to kind of note the difference about us. So we kind of tailored the branding to that colour. Now, initially I had the menus with a pink background, and I've changed it to white with the pink accents because it was too pink and it wasn't sitting right. I've also added some paint splatters on there because obviously this is all about it being a bistro and art gallery, and we're going to be selling art. You're going to be able to sit and eat your meal while surrounded by beautiful art. We're going to be selling local crafting products. And we've set the menu up to reflect that. So, you start by choosing your canvas, which is your vehicle. So your favorite bread or type of potato. And then you choose your paint, which is the fillings that you want to put in. So we've kind of tried to keep the artsy theme going through everything that we do. So I'll just walk you through. There's a lot on here. We're catering for vegan, gluten-free, and allergies with this menu, so there'll be a lot of allergy information as well as what's gluten-free and what's vegan. I've become very aware of allergies, having done a creative retreat over the weekend and had a gorgeous lady staying here that had a lot of food allergies, and it didn't affect the quality of the food that we provided. We just had to learn a few things. And I think it's always about that when you are providing food. So on the next page of the menu, we say add more detail. So an artist would add more detail. We've got another paint splash on there. So here's where we're saying, look, you can always get these home cooked main courses. And we're going to have an extra specials board as well that supports those home cooked main courses. There are the little extras and always available and always homemade selections of cakes and scones, and combos. So soup with crusty bread, soup and sandwich combo, soup and quiche combo. So that's kind of the bistro feel. So although you can buy sandwiches and jacket spuds, you can also get really hearty home cooked meals and specials boards and beautifully home cooked cakes and scones, etc. So I think the menu is really nice for what it is. And then in the drink section, still to decide who's supplying all of these. I want to source really good quality coffee and drinks and wine and beers, because we are going to be licensed and you will be able to buy wine and Bucks Fizz by the half-litre jug and litre jug, and bottled beers and ciders. So it's quite exciting. I like, obviously, I'm creative. I like working on the creative stuff that sits behind everything. And even though I've not got access to the place, one of the things that I want to play with is that there is a large pillar just as you go in, and I want to turn that large pillar into a giant paintbrush. So I'll be making a paintbrush head, and that paintbrush head will sit on the ceiling. So the paintbrush will go upwards, and then I'm going to make paint splashes on the ceiling. So it's going to be fun. I'm going to have some fun with it. It's definitely going to be quirky and different, but that seems a million miles away in the future right now, because I'm playing the waiting game with the planning permission. So that's kind of an update of where we're at. Things are still happening. I'm still working on it. I just can't physically show you the space. I have managed to get the deposit to the current owners. So we've secured the property with a £5,000 deposit to make sure that, you know, they're having to wait as well, aren't they? They're having to wait for their money because the loan is subject to planning permission. So to keep them, you know, to keep them in a positive note and make sure that they don't sell it to anyone else, then I've agreed to pay them a deposit to secure the property. So I think that's really fair. It's not my fault that we're having to wait. It's the council's, but it's not their fault either. And what I don't want is them to sell that to anyone else. Now, they have put a clause in the contract that if we haven't got planning permission by 6 months from the 1st of May, they do have the option to sell it to someone else, but the deposit becomes refundable. So I need to harass the council in a nice way, of course, because I don't want to upset them, and try and get them to understand that I really do need this planning permission. I'm probably going to miss most of the season now, which is a bit of a nightmare, but I just need to get myself ready and set up for next season if I miss this season, and establish the business in the local community over the winter months and really work hard to get the local people in here. So, you know, nothing's ever a disaster. You just have to look at where's the work going to be and how are we going to secure that business. So, you know, business never runs smoothly. And the reason I wanted to vlog about this was, you know, there's never this, oh, we found a property, we're going to do this, it'll all work out nice, we'll do it really quickly, everything will be perfect. That just doesn't happen. And I've not even got in there yet to find out what the physical problems are. And that will come next. And I think if you can do it in a good way, with good humor, with your expectations not being drowned because you've got high expectations and things don't ever work out like that. I think that's why I wanted to vlog about this, because, you know, this is the reality of doing business. A lot of it is waiting around and then rushing around like an idiot at the last minute, and throwing things together. And that's possibly what I'll end up doing. It's what I ended up doing here. But you know what? You've got to enjoy it anyway. And this is an important stage where I can get things just right, where I can go back to the bank, make sure I've got enough finance to do this. If I'm going to be going and launching and opening the doors in the winter when we haven't got the season, then I need the bank to support me from a cash flow position. So, hey, it just makes you think differently, and you've got to keep that business head switched on at all times and think in the mode that you need to be in for where the business is going to be at when you get to open those doors. That's if you're doing a physical business. It works online as well. It works for all businesses. Anyway, that's it really in terms of an update for this week. If you want to stay in the loop, then make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you'll get the weekly notifications for the vlogs. You can sign up for my mailing list. I will put a link with this video. So if you want to sign up for the mailing list and get information about what's happening, it'll put you on my main list. If you want to be on the Art Bank mailing list, I'll put 2 links on there so that you can jump onto any list that you want, or none. You can just stay here on YouTube and listen to me on a weekly basis. I will see you all next week. Hopefully I'll have had the drawings from the architect, and I will be able to pull in all these final costs and move forward a little bit with that part of the business. Have an awesome week. Bye for now.